Hello and welcome to Geek here. Today we're looking at Archon Soul. This is a roguelike deck builder. It has some pretty fun concepts. So, developers sent me a key and asked me if I want to take a look, and I did, and I'm showing off here. I had a lot of fun. So, we're jumping in. I've done about a run and a half so far, and the mechanics are actually pretty interesting. So, the demo is available. I'll have a link to the Steam page in the description if you want to try it for yourself, because it is, as I said, available at this moment. If you're on general and you enjoy these videos, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. All right, jumping in. We're going to go with the Gaiamancer, and this is actually a really cool one. Hopefully we can get some of this stuff, because I saw a potential build that I really wanted to try. So that we have that is our first target. We're fighting Punch Wizard. Now, I do have this on fast mode. So some of the animations are a little sped up. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. I had to sneeze a little bit. Okay, so real quick, I do want to go over the sort of what you see on your screen so you know what you're looking at. Okay, obviously money, and then this is essentially a buff, whether we have permanent might and things like that, or permanent fortitude. We can get those in some areas. You have your dice, which you can see we only have 3. You have your spells, and you have some extra slots that you can get from stores and different, I think just stores. I don't know. That's the only time I've found some so far. And then you actually have dice modifiers, of which we have none at the moment. But that takes care of like basically what's up top besides our hit points. Over here, you're going to have a thing here. So in this case, we're going to do this and you'll be able to see it. So if we take a dice and we put it here, this one happened to have a 1. It gave us 5 of grounded. Grounded basically generates shields every turn. He's not going to do anything to us this turn, so we don't have to worry too much. Now, each dice can have a fate. Their dice can have a different body and a different rune, and we'll see that here in a moment. But I figured I'd get that out of the way so you kind of know what's going on there. This is how many discarded dice we have. Our opponent also has a thing, so if we do a dice value of 4 right now, this is an important thing to pay attention to. There's values within buffs and different things. Real quick, I wanted to go over that because, so for example, if we do a 4 or greater, it inflicts 1 weak. Otherwise, it inflicts 1 vulnerable. So do we want him to do less damage? Then we need a die that has rolled a 4 or higher. If we want him to take more damage, then we want something that's underneath of that 4. So a 3, 2, 1. So we can actually do that, and you can see that in action here, and now he has 1 stack of weakness, and he's going to take more damage. We're not going to do a lot of damage because we're going to be doing this, but it still does a reasonable amount of damage. And of course, he's charged up. Now he's going to be able to hit us this turn because he's charged. And they have a little thing above his head will tell you what he's about to do. And he's going to hit us for 15 damage, which is a pretty good chunk of damage. A little more than we want to get hit for. But we're going to end up getting hit by it anyway, because we can only really make, like, I think we can make, actually, we probably, 1 damage. We'll be 1 damage short. That's not terrible. This is just the initial tutorial fight, so we're not going to worry too much. Undergrowth is a really strong card, and I haven't touched it yet, but we'll start touching it later in different things. He's in pause mode again, so we're just going to smack him for everything he's got. Now, this card will be coming in handy throughout the run. So, like, if you are changing things out of your deck, and he's going to do 13 this time, but I think we can come close. No, I don't think. Okay, so we'll just play it safe. We'll play it safe. Because I usually chip damage myself to death in these types of games, so yeah, probably better to play it safe. Alright, so go ahead and get him with these. Now this die right here does have a thing to it. It's a 7, but that's a reduction amount. So if I put this 5 on it, in fact we will, if I put that 5 on it, that now goes down to 2. Now, some amounts are fixed. You have to have that number. Some amounts are below or above. In this case, this one happens to be one where you can do this, and it'll give us another dice. We don't actually need the other die because we're going to win this fight right now, but as you can see, there's different ways the dice work, and when you go in here, when you win, you can actually pick rewards from every category, sometimes more than one. I'm going to go ahead and take the 6 face, because that means we can change the face of the die, which is interesting. And now we get into an interesting part here, which is runes. Runes are applied to a single face on a die, and they do a thing when that face is used to activate something. So, for example, this one, when you cast a spell, which we will grab, with this, we gain 3 grounded. So we know that works great. Then spells, again, you get some really cool different ones. 1 permanent might destroy this spell, so that just goes away permanently. But we would get one of these, which would give us 1 point extra damage forever. But I think What is buffeted? When this unit takes damage from Sandstorm this turn, inflict 1 weak on this unit. Okay, so that was pretty okay. But I think we're actually going to take that. And we'll just burn it early. If we do manage to get a Sandstorm build going, that would be great. Let's go for the event and see what it does. Gain a random spell. All right. There we go. It didn't take away one of my dice, did it? That would be terrible. Deal damage equal to your barrier. Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, let's see what happens here. Elites are actually, like, they're pretty rough. Let's go for a regular combat, because elites can be really rough. Now, here's our modified dice screen. We did not lose one, but we do have a cursed weak body. We get in the combat with 1 weak. When this dice is changed during the dice modification, lose 7 max hit points. Okay, so we did get cursed, which is not optimal, and we are going to... We don't have a body to put on it at the moment. We're going to take this guy right here. We're gonna go ahead and put him on here. And since we don't... We can change a face, but I kind of want to keep all the faces we have. We'll just have to figure something out for that one eventually. Spell select. We have just our amount of spells. So now we are ready to go, and we have weak, unfortunately, which is bad. Okay, so we're gonna end up losing that on it, but we do have something that we could do here. Okay, for starters, let's do this. Get this out. It's just permanently gone, but we now have 1 extra damage, and that'll help us do a little bit more damage everywhere. So we'll take the damage off of this, and we'll go ahead and put it there. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this. We are gonna lose some life here, and there's not much we can do about that at the moment. Okay, so we're going to do... Okay. Aha, okay. So here's what we're going to do. We have 5s and above. That's kind of the problem on this, because it's not really a problem, but it does mean that we gain 2 barrier less. We do more damage, but we take more damage as well. So we're going to take the damage, but what we're going to do here is we're going to just go ahead and get rid of this mace, and then he's only doing 3, which means we can compensate for that, and that'll work out. All right. So if we did have a good card for that, he's got 18 and 7. He's doing 3. So we'll do this, because then we'll get he'll do the 3 there, but we also get the high bonus amount. The higher number on this, because we use the higher dice on it. So that should hopefully work. Okay, so now this really wants it to be a barrier, which is great, but I didn't need a barrier because he's not doing damage to me. Oh, he's going to be piercing armor with that one. Okay. Oh, so if we put one in here, we get to just, his armor doesn't count. That's actually pretty handy. All right, let's do this grounded thing so that we can gain our... These stacks, by the way, that's what gives us automatic barrier every turn. There's a couple of ways to get that as your run goes on, and it actually works really well. I mean, we can just plop them out of existence. Boop. Okay, let's take that. Let's get this. We'll take this 5. That's pretty good. That's okay. This is good. We're taking that. All right. If gain 10 barrier and 1 sandstorm intensity, otherwise begin sandstorm. Sandstorm intensity increases the damage of the sandstorm hits. Okay, so we'll probably grab that. Gain 6 barrier. If dice value is 1, gain 1 hexproof. If the sandstorm has not begun, begin the hands. And that takes any value of card. Boy, that's kind of tempting, because it does take, and it does start the sandstorm, but this increases the sandstorm's damage. So we're going to take that for the moment, because sandstorm is basically dot damage. We don't need to do that, so we'll go to the event. Swap your current unit ability with juiced. Current ability is Gaia's protection. No, because that gives us a really good thing. That actually gives us a really handy thing, so I would kind of hate to do that. Let's see what we got in the shop. If we can possibly get a dice body or an extra card slot or any of these things, that would be, like, super good. We do have a stone body, but I think we're going to go with this reserve slot and this. And that way we have a little bit more space. We don't have enough for anything else, but we do have a little bit more space at the moment. We don't need a shop, so I guess we're going to rest. And I haven't managed to open a chest yet, so we need 13 on one die or a 7. And I have neither of those numbers. If I could just... But it requires an exact number on here. This requires 13 points, and unfortunately, as you can see here, we only have 10. So, sadly, I will continue my track record of not having managed that. Gain 5 runes. Awesome. That's amazing. Boss combat. Our first boss. Let's get that dice modification up here. We still don't have a frame, so this is still going to hit us with 1 week at the beginning, which is kind of... All right, but let's go ahead and put this guy on here. Vampire, we'll put on the other one. Spiked, when you roll this face, deal 5 damage to the enemy. We'll put it on 5 just to make it look funny. Spells that you charge using this don't take energy. I'm going to put that on a 1. Now, there's an interesting... I like this one. This one actually gives you a higher chance. So if you have, say, for example, if you're going to go a 6, you might take the chance and put it on the 5 so that it's going to roll 6s more often. And that way, you know you're going to get that vampire, and you can actually like juice it up and get some good damage. Another fantastic one that is really good is like 3s. Basically, since you're hoping for a lot of those, some juicing up each one of yours, especially on like the bear dice in the early game, is absolutely great. Like we have that. We'll go ahead and put that vampire on here too. And I do like the vampire on 6s because you're going to almost always use them for damage. He's an interesting boss. And he's also where I found Sandstorm I needed Sandstorm. Okay, so we rolled. We already did some damage to him with our dice, which is awesome. All right, so he's going to do 5. So we need a barrier, and we need it on a 3 or less. We got that. But now I want to do this because this is going to start our day, and it requires a 3 exactly. So that might be something we end up taking out. All right, so what we will do is this, and that's going to give us another die, and that'll help us out in rounds coming. So against bosses, a lot of times I'll do this really early just to make sure that I can like get through it. We're still missing this, which is a bit of a bummer. I actually kind of feel a little bad about that. But for the moment, it's gonna have to be what it is. There we go. And shields, you lose your shields after the first. That one only lasts for the first round, though, so it's not the worst thing in the world. We do have a 3. Sandstorm's now up. Now, every time we do this again, the Sandstorm's going to increase in power and do more damage each turn. And the hope is that we'll get some complementary cards for that. So in our case, we're going to take this. We're going to use that to give ourselves a little bit of life back, which works really well. He is going to be doing a unique move, so we know that he's not going to be attacking us, so we can do other things at the moment. We can basically feed all of this into our attacks. And if I remember correctly, he's about to live up to his name. All right. Now, Sandstorm everybody takes 5 damage at the beginning of the turn. But when you do the intensity up on Sandstorm, then it gets significantly higher. And that's the key that we're going for. So he's going to attack us twice. So I figure we'll try this. We have a 2, so we'll gain 5 barrier. We can probably throw this 4 in there. Do we want to throw the 4 in there? We want to activate this because we're gonna barrier up. So we will throw the 4 in here. This is not gonna do any extra damage no matter where we put it. So I am gonna throw that in there too. But that also gives us the ability to. Oh, does this take just a 1? Oh, that was my bad. I didn't realize that one was just a 1 pip because we had used numbers otherwise. So I didn't. That was my brain. My brain was not thinking. All right, so we got 11. That's going to cover most of our damage. So let's just keep doing some damage to it. So we have a lot of non-flexible cards, so I need to fix that a little bit as we go. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. We do have that now, just not super handy right now. Spells. Oh, cool. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. So if we go over here and we do this, it's going to give us 5, and then if we do this, it's going to give us 10. Now we do have a 1, since we do have that, and that works. And it's not going to use the charge because we have that little symbol there. because we got that little thing. So this won't. This will now be. I could use it again if I had the another one. That would have worked out nicely had it worked that way. But it did not. All right, let's make sure we take the replicator out here. A lot of the work is going to get done by our sandstorm, and the sandstorms, if you can find a way to run a sandstorm build in your early time, is actually really good. All right, let's see. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to replicate us, I believe, so we want to do as much damage as we possibly can. So we're even going to activate these on damage, and we do have that one might already, so we get him down really good, and then we can just get rid of him. All right. I'm going to take the 3 randos. I'll take the 3 randos. I need a body. Randomize that face rune. Dice cannot be destroyed. That's not bad. At the end of combat, permanently remove this dice body. If this dice was not used, gain 18 max hit points. Nah. Dice cannot be destroyed, maybe. When you change the value of dice face during modification, randomize that face's rune. Okay, so I have an idea how we might how we might be able to do something there. Okay, damage equal to barrier we already have. Yeah, 55. Yeah, I mean you only have to roll that many dice, but jeez. All right, damage gain dice value grounded repeat 1. Oh, that's so hard though. Look at that. That's like so hard to do because you got to get a 1 and a 1 or a 2. That's really hard to justify. Super hard. We already have one of those, though. I guess we could grab this without the intention of ever actually successfully using it. Hey, we got a dice. All right. Sorry. I have been running this for a little bit, and I did notice it seems to slow down a little bit in fast mode when you've been running it for a while. So I do apologize about the way that looks. That was not on the game's part. Okay, repeat. Okay, so let's see here first. We have this. Let's go ahead and put that on there. And what I want to do is I want to try this because I think there might be a way. No. Okay. I was gonna say. Okay, I have a 2. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that. Okay, so now it's grounded. So if I take this one and make it a 2. It does work. So you can generate random. Oh, I mean, it's probably not what you want to do to a person's game, but yeah, it works. Okay, let's go for that. We'll throw that on there. When you roll this dice face, remove all debuffs from the player. Oh, do we have a die? Oh, yes, we do. There we go. And then we'll just go ahead and repeat on you. Okay, that'll work. 55. Never gonna happen. But we have another die now. Now this card starts becoming more and more interesting because we have another die. So we know this takes a 3, so we're gonna do that. That's gonna bring our sandstorm up. And we don't have any barrier, but we could. But we could do 4 damage, or we can get barrier and do 5. Okay, so let's do it that way, because that'll give us 5. And then that will give us that for that barrier. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this, because again, we have more dice. We have 1 more dice now. And I find once I hit about 4 dice, sacrificing the first couple turns to get these extra 2 dice out can really make your entire thing here go crazy. So we got to do 9 and 19, and that's going to be a little bit more than we have. Begin combat with 1 week. We've already got past that. Infliction, when we inflict a debuff. Sadly, we don't have a 3 for that. I wish we did. Okay, so let's go with... We only have 1 barrier. So we could potentially get ourselves 6 points, but we could also just do 6 points each time. So I think that's the way we're going to go. Although I am tempted to try that out. And then we don't need this as of yet because no one has put us in the thing. And I forgot to actually juice up our shield, so I'm going to take a bunch of damage that I did not need to take. So we want to do damage. Yeah, you know what? Since we're going to take the damage, we're going to take the extra damage. we'll just go all in. And we'll just go ahead and use that. So it'll kind of get rid of everybody. See, he's going to be gone now. He's going to be gone this turn. And that's really good for us. Okay, so... I mean, we could just do that. Get rid of him that way. All right, there we go. There we go. We got 2 more here. He's going to do 12 damage. But we really don't have much of a way to, like, block that. And I've had no luck on our 3s here. I really need to find some more tornado cards, hopefully. They're very good. It's just that, like, sometimes finding them can be a bit of a pain. Okay, he's gonna debuff me, so we'll do that. We'll do that to get more shields, and then we'll do that to do that. Alright, yeah, see, now we're up to 6 damage. Each stack above this raises it by 1. So if you have a really good... Oh, hey, cool. Okay, so he doesn't have any shields, so we know that's going to work. And then this one removes all of our debuffs, but we don't have any debuffs, so we're good there. And this one is going to give us grounded. So there's an interesting... We're going to do some cool stuff here. So, for starters... Bam! We got shields. Now we're going to use this. And it's going to get it's going to give us stacks of grounded, which will give us shields. We're going to finish this fight this turn. Just so you know. And we'll do this so that we can, like, basically nom on his hit points, get some of ours back. We now have a 6 and a 6, and that'll be enough to kill him. But we could have healed. We'll take a 5. That comes in handy now that oh, you know what? This is really good. I really like that base because because you get messed up pretty fast. Deal plus 5 damage. If the die face used to cast the spell has a rune, gain 2 grounded. Dice value plus 5 damage that's a lot. I think we're actually going to try that, and I think we'll go ahead and put that in place of here. That is good there. So I don't feel like events give me money, and I'd like to go to a shop, so we're going to do that for the moment. We have aid on another one, so another dice having aid on it would be fantastic. We already did our spells, so we're good there. Right, we do have our 1 round of weakness, but that's really not that bad. Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. I had to take a big old drink. Didn't want to be rude. All right, so if it's full dice value, that's what I'm wondering on that. We got 11 and 18 coming in, so I think for this turn, we do have a 3. Too bad that doesn't have repeat, because that would be great. If this had repeat, that would be so good for us. We'll take this. Okay, we're going to take that, and we're going to put it right there. So we're up to 9 right now. And then this one inflicts more debuffs, but we're not inflicting debuffs, so we don't necessarily need that. And they're both 4s. So we'll take that. That's up to 14. And then we have a 4 that we can use to bring this down. And I technically should have armored up, but I think we'll probably be okay. We definitely need to armor up this turn, though, because they're doing a lot of damage. All right, so... let's see. We don't actually have anything good for armoring up. The best I can do for you is basically trying to kill him. Which we are not going to do. We are going to fully armor because we need it. Otherwise, I'm going to start taking too much damage. I got to pay more attention. We still... Oh, we came close to taking a point of damage. Okay, he's armored up this turn. That's okay, because they both just got hit from that, so that works. All right, there's another 3. Thank God. Let's see. If we go armor and armor, we'll probably get through this without taking anything. And he is regenerating, which is a bit of a pain. All right, so we've got 4. So let's just do that. Okay, we got a 2. That's going to absorb some of our damage, but nobody's actually dealing damage to us, so that was kind of a mistake. Well, Yeah, it was kind of a mistake. Okay, so what we will do instead of what I was just thinking is we're going to go ahead and hit this gentleman relatively hard. Not super hard, just relatively hard. I need to actually get on him because he doesn't have regen and I'm getting this guy's tanking too much. So pierce armor. An exact 1 is required. Okay. So let's do our damage to him. Well, we need to block him. So if we take a 1, we're going to take that and put that on him. We have another of that. I don't think we'll reach 34. So it feels like I'm going to have to go into there again. Okay. Just to make sure that we're not taking a bunch of extra damage. Because I already let them whittle down the hit points just a little too much. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So he's got armor back, which is kind of a bummer because I didn't attack him when I did that. Sort of waste on that one, so that was my fault. Does 50% more damage. So, here's what I think. We take this, and then we give it one of these. We're up to 18. Like I said, he's healing. He's not healing, so I want to do a little extra damage to him there. And we'll get that. That's going to give us a little something. And that's not going to prevent all our damage, but it's going to present a good chunk. This armadillo will die earlier because he's healing. That's the biggest issue here. I haven't actually... He's got 10 regen at this point. I don't even know how to get rid of that. That might not be great. Spells with a repeat cast over and over again. We do have 7 barrier, so it does actually translate to a decent amount of damage going out, but we have so much damage coming in. This fight may do us in just because of this guy's regeneration. But again, this is a demo that just came out. So, let's see. We're already up for as much damage as we can do. We're getting 6 barrier per. And then if dice face used has a rune, then we get that. So... do we... Okay, yeah, we do. So we do this. And then we hit this guy with it. And then we do this to get all of the shields that we can possibly get. Now we've got some more extra stacks of grounded, which is going to help us out. So the big problem is that these shields are just murdering me. All right. All right, for some reason, OBS stopped recording for a moment. This is going to end up being the last fight, but still. Let's see. We do have that, so we can do barrier amounts of damage. But this guy's got so much shield right now that I have to wait it out, which is kind of a problem. He doesn't have a lot of shield, but he's regenerating more than we can really handle. So... Alright, see, because that's still only doing 24 to him. And he'll just regen everything that we do to him. So is that our play still, though? And then I need 2 for that, but I can do that. And then we get rid of him that way. Okay, so we at least got 1 down, which means we won't have to block as much. 21. I'm like, no, it'll be, oh, maybe not. All right, let's get in here and get some barrier going. We need to block 21. That's just the way it is. So let's go ahead and block 22. And then we'll go ahead and hit him for that, which isn't really going to do anything, but our other thing is he's up to 15 now. I don't think I'm going to be able to kill him. I just don't think this deck has the damage in it to succeed at killing him, which is maybe not great. But again, like I said, this is a day 1 demo. It's just the way things work sometimes. 13, we can do potentially, to him, we can do potentially 12 points of damage or 17. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Maybe we can make it through here. I don't know if we will, because he has so many hit points. All right. Let's take you. That's going to be 18. So we are getting... Well, that actually worked out okay. Now, if we feed this... and we go like that... Hey! We did it! All right. So maybe not too... I mean, it still felt a little hard because it didn't feel like I had much of an answer at first, but once I got the second guy, it was okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do spells for that. Oh, this is the one. This is this card right here. Oh my god. This card right here, absolutely, like, weird this now. Like, absolutely. Because this is the one that makes the biggest difference. So, I know that's kind of at the end of the video, and I do apologize. But, yeah, that's like basically... Which one are we? We're here. So, we're not even close to the boss, unfortunately. Otherwise, if we're like one away from the boss, I'd say that we go there. Let's pop in the shop for a brief second. I'll kind of explain what I meant by that. Because that card right there, it takes any odd number. If the sand, and then you get your sandstorm, and if it's already sandstorming, you gain 2 intensity, which is 2 points on each hit. And you can actually use this essentially as like a sandpaper build, where you just go through and you defend yourself and build up your stacks using all your odd numbers over here, and it'll just like sort of grind all of your opponents down for you. So it's one of those that works really, really, really well to sort of carry a run. In fact, my farthest run out of the one, and I count the half one because I burned out pretty quick because I was trying to figure out mechanics, and that was the first one. But that one took me through 3 different bosses, so 2 or 3 different bosses. I think I died on the 3rd boss using that very much that one. And you know, you have a lot of other sandstorm ones that work really well too. So let's see. Let's go here. Okay, if I quit the main menu, do I save my thing? That's the question. Yes, continue. Okay, so this has been Archon Soul. Again, I'll have a link to the, it's a demo, so if you want to try it, you can try it for yourself for free. And I'll have a link to the Steam page in the description. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I do hope you come back for the next one. And most of all, as always, have a great day.